Hello, this is Arielle, the Inconspicuous Bear, and I'll be narrating the heroic version of the 5-man dungeon Skyreach in the Warlords of Draenor expansion from a Guardian point of view. Skyreach is one of the shorter dungeons in the expansion, clocking in just under 25 minutes. Again, as with all the other videos, the group I did this with was a full 14-14 heroic group, so your experience may vary significantly from what I'm showing here. Try to be more on the cautious side when you're doing the pugs, because you have no idea what their experience level is with the new mechanics, so who knows what's going to happen. The first trash pull features 2 mobs, one of which has a heal that you can interrupt, and the one is just kind of this dude that throws a thing all over the place. And that's pretty much it. This next trash pull can be kind of frustrating to deal with, because you're liable, it's totally possible to pull. Actually, no, it's not. That's the next trash pull. This one's fine. I actually completely forget what all these guys do. I know the dude in the back throws a chakram everywhere, because he's a dick like that. I think the one we're killing has a heal. There was also a little bird in there somewhere. Oh yeah, there's a little bird. I guess he's not quite little. He charges all over the place, and you can't really do much about that. But yeah. Normal dungeon trash. And this next trash pull can be kind of a pain because there are casters in it. So if you don't want to set them or like interrupt them to pull, get them to pull forward as you see them, you're liable to actually get the pat to wander in at some point as well. I think we may actually have that happen here. Now, one of the mechanics in these trash packs is a flashger or a flash bomb. I can't see it right now. That's the interrupt dude, or that's the heal guy. Well, there's a couple of things. One, there's the puddle of fire. Don't stand in the puddle of fire. Who does the flash grenade? I don't remember. That one heals. Maybe it's not these ones. Maybe it's some other ones. There are definitely mobs that do a flash grenade that will actually disorient you if you are facing it when it goes off, which is bad. Right, and then here Esoth pulls everything with a barrage, because that's what Esoth does. And one of these does the grenade, but I forget who. In any case, the little bird that we're currently attacking empowers the other ones to get like really crazy abilities, and killing it is good because it makes your lives a lot easier. So you want to kill it first, and otherwise just keep things interrupted as much as possible. And okay, this trash is dead. This next pull can be sometimes a little dangerous, depending on what your basically how well you use playing dungeon. The little dudes get enraged when the big dude dies. And I think he also casts Enrage on them. Yeah, you can see one of them is enraged right now. The enraged ones actually hurt quite a bit, so if you have more than one enraged at the same time, stuff goes south really fast. See, now that the big dude died, so like all of them are enraged, and they're like beating my face in. I think I actually had to use SI here because I was so scared. Alright. And it's dead. Awesome. Which brings us to the first boss. The first boss has a number of mechanics that you actually have to be worried about. So we'll pull in a sec here, and I'll kind of describe them as they come up on the video. He dual wields, so that's a thing. The first thing he'll do. Well, he throws chakrams around, which is really kind of irritating. First thing he does is he drops those white chakrams that spin. Those are called wind walls. they do a pretty decent amount of damage if you come in contact with them, so you need to not come in contact with them. Oh, he just dropped another one. Normally, he prefers to do it on ranged. I don't know what happened there. This next one, the one we see the 4 spinning quadrants, is called 4 Winds. This happens only once in a while. It's like once every 2 wind walls in norm or in heroic. It looks like, or yeah, 1 every 2 wind walls in heroic. And the last thing is that the focusing iris, which is basically just a giant laser beam, and it will fixate a random person, and you have to kite it around, kind of like Black Fuse. It can target the tank, so just be aware of that. And the last thing is he likes to charge off in random directions, just to make your life difficult. And that's the entire fight. So basically it's a lot of don't stand in stuff. And he should be dying pretty shortly. Oh, see, got a fire. And the person that's fixated on will have a red arrow above their heads too. So that'll help with determining what exactly is going on. And boss dies. Alright, so we've got very little trash for the next boss. In fact, I think there's like 1 trash pack. Yeah, because you can skip the pat if you're fast enough, but you do have to kill one of these trash packs. I think I'm going to pull them down the ramp if memory serves. I think. Yeah, I'm waiting for people. Oh, I'm just going to charge over. Oh, maybe there is no pat. Did they get rid of the pat? Maybe that's what happened. My memory is bad. So I charge into this group. Because there's such a large number of mobs, there's lots of damage going out. So it's a really good time to use Berserk. And don't be afraid to use a tank cooldown if you have to, because the next boss is like the biggest joke in the history of the world. Well, maybe not the biggest joke, but a really big joke. So, killing this trash. Trash, 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 trash. 2 more go. 1 more to go. And it's just this big bird dude left. But he's close to being dead, so it's good. Awesome. Oh my god, we have one more trash ball. And it's this thing. So that big golem in the middle is the next boss. And there are a grand total of pretty much 1 mechanic you have to care about. That's the only thing you have to care about. Literally. So when he raises his hand to smash, you move out of the way. And that's all you have to do. You could, if you're feeling like, awesome, also block beams, but it's better if DPS do that, because they don't have to worry about the extra damage from anything else. I will say that the smash graphic is kind of finicky, and it will hit you even though you think you moved out of it. So you have to start moving pretty much as soon as his hand is going up. You have to start moving. But that's literally the only thing on this boss. And another thing is, depending on which hand goes up, it's easier or harder to move out of it. Depending on where you are. So if his right hand goes up, it will actually come down on that side. So you want to move to the left to avoid the right hand, and then move to the right to avoid the left hand. Obviously, those are as if you were using his hands. So if it's not facing him. So you want to move to the left to avoid the right hand if you're facing him, and you want to move to the right to avoid the left hand if you're facing him. Otherwise, this fight is hella boring. I think I actually stood in a bunch of the smashes because I was being lazy. So, there's that. And boss is dead? Yes? Almost. Alright, boss is dead. Sweet. And we have loots. And then we're going to go on to the next boss. Again, there is very little trash between this boss and the next boss, which is really cool. There's actually very little trash in this instance in general, which is really nice. I should have cut this part out of the video. That's my bad. I did cut a whole bunch of other stuff out of it, so like about 10 minutes of wasted time. Alright, so we got this trash here. This is just one giant pile of birds that will fixate on people. And that's it. That's all it is. It's just a giant pile of birds that fixates on people. So, guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna spam all the thrash. Spam all the thrash. All the thrash. All the thrash. Well, they're running around being jerks. Oh, and they're almost dead. Only 2 left. Yay, they're dead. Fortunately, someone else seems to have died in the process. Alright, so we gotta deal with that other trash there too, which is another group of the exact same thing. You'll notice that there are these little piles of ash around the place. Unfortunately, you don't actually care about those. Those are only really relevant for non-tanks. So we have birds. The next boss will activate once you kill the dude over by the ledge there. So you kill these 2 packs of birds, and then you go kill the dude by the ledge. And then the boss will activate. There we go. Alright, awesome. So we got another little pack of birds and a dude. The dude's pretty harmless. Trash, 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 trash. We're dying slowly. Die faster, damn it. Die faster. I don't know what this is really all about. I don't know what that spell does. All I know is that the trash is not dying. Alright, there we go. Okay, trash dead. So, boss. As a tank, the boss has one primary mechanic you need to care about. I think it's called sheer armor, I think. Every so often, he'll cast a thing that reduces your armor by 10%, and it stacks. Fortunately, as a guardian, you can GG that mechanic by simply using Pulverize, because apparently Pulverize counts as active mitigation for that mechanic. And since you should always have it up, you will never take a stack. For what it's worth, if you don't have Pulverize up for some reason, then Savage Defense is what you would use otherwise. And you would make sure you have it up for every other stack of the debuff, because it'll drop off between 2 applications. And that what you saw there was Quills. I mean, it's basically pick your AoE mechanic from any boss that you need to line of sight. That's what you do. And conveniently, there's a pillar right behind the boss, so you run behind the pillar to line of sight the Quills, and you're good. The thing about the ash piles I was mentioning earlier, so he summons these birds, these little flaming birds, that fixating people and try to run up and hit them. If one of those birds dies next to an ash pile, it will resurrect that ash pile and give you another bird, which is kind of bad. So you need to make sure that doesn't happen, pretty much. These birds can be stunned, they can be slowed. They cannot be CC'd, but they can be otherwise, what's the word I'm looking for? Detained, I guess. But it's primarily the job of the ranged DPS to worry about killing them in the right spot. And boss dead. Boss dead. Boss dead, yay! Alright, so that boss is dead. Let's do loot quickly here. Well, sort of. Sort of quickly, I guess. And this part is annoying as... yeah, it's really annoying. As a druid, you can actually shift into stag form and let someone ride on your back through this nonsense. But as you can see, there's this whole nonsense with the crows and the hitting and the dumb. And yeah, it's... I hate this part of the dungeon. Thankfully, once you get up to the top here, it disengages. Be careful when you come up to the top, though, because there's a trash pole up at the very, very top. So you don't want to be activating that once you run to the top. Like I just almost did. Bleh, can't talk. So we're waiting for Sarah to get up here because she's stuck way down at the bottom and she can't run. So, come on, Sarah, you can do it. Run, Draenor, run. And almost. So close, so close, so close. There you go. Okay. Now we're going to kill these guys. I made the mistake of using Thrash too close to the Frost Trap, or the Freezing Trap, but whatever. Such is life. These things happen. Now, remember, there's the dude empowering the other, or there's the robot empowering the other dudes. Make sure you try and kill the robot doing the empowering before everything else, because it makes your life a lot more difficult than it needs to be. Everyone appears to be splitting their DPS, but you really do want to be killing that empowered, or the little robot that empowers the rest of them. And he's so close to being dead. There we go, now he's dead. Alright, so she's got these two left. It's not that big of a deal. The next trash pack is probably the single most dangerous trash pack in the entire instance. It's harder even than some of the bosses. So, kill this. You can either go left or right here. It's the exact same result either way. You only have to go one of the ways, so just pick a way and go that way. We're going to go right here. Alright. So we're going right. Now this part is really, really nasty. So we've got a total of 5 different things here that need to be dealt with. Really, if you were going to do this in a non, kind of YOLO way, you would actually CC stuff, because that pretty much solves the problem. But we're pretty much just going to YOLO it. I don't really have a good reason why we're YOLOing it, but we are. Okay, so the big problem is this big robot in the middle. The big robot in the middle does a shield, which will reduce damage taken to everyone else. So you need to make sure that you get the shield down, or you need to make sure you're killing the shield robot as soon as pretty much humanly possible. We wiped shortly after the video cut off there, so pretty much just use CC on that pole and you'll be fine. And then we come to this robot, and he's pretty trivial. He just has a lot of parts to him. So spam all the thrash. And he will die. Or it's all of it will die. But yes, spam all the thrash. All the thrash. Yay, all the thrash. Do, do, do. Almost. There we go. Alright, he's dead. Now, time for the last boss of the instance. This guy is pretty cake. He has a couple mechanics to him. Just waiting for people to get their crap together. Alright, here we go. So we're going to tank him on that little star that you see there. The reason for that is because one of his mechanics is basically the Valkyr from Lich King. A bird will come down, pick someone up, and try to throw him off the edge. So I need to give as much distance as possible to allow people to kill the bird before it becomes a problem. Or before the person's dragged over the edge and killed, pretty much. Other things that happen. So, okay, so there's the bird I was talking about. So you want to try and keep everyone as close to the middle, or as close to the door as possible. The next part is the laser. The laser from the first boss returns as another laser. Second, and then lastly, there's the robot from the earlier trash pack that will put the shield on the boss. So you need to stun or interrupt the robot and kill it to make the shield go away. And here comes another ad. Feel free to switch to the ad that can be stunned, or both kinds of ads can be stunned and snared. Although snaring doesn't really help with the robot any. It does help with the birds. So snare and stun the birds and root them. You can charge and root them too. Boss is going down. Slowly but surely. And here comes another bird. There we go, bird dead. And here comes another robot. Robot is dead. And the boss is almost dead. And so close, so close. And once you get low, you can just ignore the ads. Alright, boss dead, GG. Hope you enjoyed this video, and good luck in the Warlords of Draenor.